You know, if Ghostbusters 2016 looked like the Exorcist Club, it could have been a box office hit.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other two books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online bookstores everywhere today.
This comic is rated R for nudity and violence, just like I like it.
Before I get into this review of Red Sea Comics' Exorcist Club, I wanted to give everybody an update on the SJS Direct 2024 catalog. Now, the SJS Direct 2024 catalog will be kicking off on March 22nd with the release of John Haynes' Illuminati. And John Haynes' Illuminati will be the first book of the SJS Direct 2024 catalog, which will feature 3 books by myself and 1 by Lawrence Cherry. And after John Haynes' Illuminati comes out, in April will come Isis Dark Incubus, and I'm still waiting for Bill Walker to get back to me with the cover for Esteem Horror in the Hamptons, but those 3 books are going to be the ones I produce. And Lawrence Cherry will be producing a title for the catalog this year. Now, you can get John Haynes' Illuminati in paperback on March 22nd, or you can pre-order a digital copy on Kindle on Amazon.com right now, or you can also get it at other online booksellers like Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, and Google Play. Now, in addition to John Haynes' Illuminati, I also have my own comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, which is currently available on Lulu.com right now in paperback, and you can get the same paperback edition everybody got in the 2022 Kickstarter for the same price that everybody paid on the 2022 Kickstarter. And this is a comic that a lot of people like, and I'm wanting to share it with you. That's why I'm making it available right now. And I really hope you guys will pick up a copy of John Haynes at Death's Door. And I also hope that you guys will help me to be able to get my next SJS Direct comic out soon. Now, with all of that said about SJS Direct business, I'm going to get into this review of Red Sea Comics' The Exorcist Club, which I consider to be the first of one of the best comics of 2024. Now, I was just on Kickstarter looking to go out and put in a pledge on some of the other books, like Sister Mercy, the creator of Sister Mercy's book, Corey Hardiman's book, is coming out, Hope and Sin. And as I was putting in a pledge for Hope and Sin, I decided to take a look at this Exorcist Club, which was on Kickstarter, and the whole concept looked very interesting to me. And I said, hey, I like this concept, I like this premise. It really reminded me a lot of Ghostbusters from 1984, and it also reminded me a bit of Ghostbusters 2016, because when I look at this comic, it basically shows me the potential an all-female Ghostbusters team would have had it been executed properly. Now, The Exorcist Club by Red Sea Comics is a bit more of a jiggle version of the female Ghostbusters, and basically shows us a bit more of a sexier team. But this sexier team, while it has that sexy flash, there's a lot of substance to the storytelling, and the writing here is just extremely exceptional. And I was so impressed with this first issue that I definitely am eager to pick up the second one. Now, Red Sea Comics with this Kickstarter, they surprised me as related to shipping, because this book shipped out real fast. I mean, the Kickstarter ended about 2 weeks ago, and I've got the book in my hands. And many other Kickstarters, I don't really get the books very quickly, but I got this book so fast, and it was just a shock to me. And I was happy to get it so soon, because this, again, is a fantastic book that starts out very strong and has you eager to pick up the next issue. Now, the creative team of Chris Moses, Anthony Stokes, Dario Marconi, and Ignacio DiMeglio and Maria Secchi, and Reed Hinckley Barnes did a fantastic job on The Exorcist Club, and the writing here and the art are spectacular. and the storytelling here is exceptionally well done. And this first page does a great job of starting the story. I love this first page with the foreshadowing of things to happen in the future. And I love how we get this establishing shot showing Seo Hyung, one of the lead characters, looking to go to this dock in order to try to get a job. Now, this first page basically establishes Seo Hyung as a lead character, establishing what she wants, which is this job. And she wants to work for the Exorcist Club, and we quickly see that Sandra, the founder of the Exorcist Club, is in over her head at this job as she's taking on a ghost or a demon. Now, this demon that she's been fighting in the trailer that she's in this trailer fighting it, and we get another piece of foreshadowing with this cross, which kind of reminds me of the PKE meters that the Ghostbusters used to have, and this cross basically signaling that there's some sort of supernatural demon here. And as this is going, she goes from seeing this demon and this ghost to seeing Sandra out here looking to fight with this ghost. And I love the sequencing here, just again, well done sequencing of the page with all these 6 panels, just exceptionally well done. And we transition over to Sandra getting into it with this demon who breaks her glasses. And by breaking the glasses, that basically makes it where it's on for Sandra. And Sandra basically decides to go out here and have it out with this demon. And she takes out her whip, which is sort of like the proton throwers of the Ghostbusters, and takes this demon on, then touches the demon and basically rebukes it and exorcises it. And after she exorcises it, she basically winds up sending this demon back where it came from. And this is a very good 5 pages here, because these 5 pages basically show us the main characters, what they want, give us the action and show us the heroes in action, and show us a reason to care, then take us back to people being people, with Seo Hyung being shocked at what she's seen, and Sandra being surprised at actually having to deal with a person. So this really reminds me a lot of the interactions that Peter Venkman and Egon Spengler used to have, in that Egon Spengler was the guy, he was the brains of the Ghostbusters, and he was a bit of a nerd. He was a little detached and more into his science than he is into people. And Seo Hyung reminds me of Peter Venkman in that he's more about people and not more about the science. She's aware of it, but not really aware of the science that much. So we got a good contrast here in these characters playing off each other. And as these 2 characters are playing off each other, they have the start of some really interesting chemistry. So you've got some nice foundations here. And I like the fact that they're in this trailer, and this is their base of the Exorcist Club. And it really reminds me of a nice contrast to the original Ghostbusters. I mean, in the original 1984 Ghostbusters, you had the Ghostbusters, Egon Spengler and Peter Venkman, basically, and Ray Stantz, they were at this university trying to find a way to get grant money. But this was with Sandra, she's basically a college student, and college students, they don't have the doctorates or degrees. So she's basically struggling at this point. And that really, really shows how this is all about them learning how to work together and working to build something. So I really like this whole start of this story with Sandra and Seo Hyung, that she's saying, do you sleep here? And it's very interesting. She says, do you sleep here? And she says she wishes, because like Egon Spengler, she's really focused on her goals. So this is really interesting. Again, she was a part of this Exorcist Club. She's looking to make some money, like Winston Zedmore, as related to this whole thing. And she's looking also to learn more about what her father talked about as related to spirits. So there's a lot of great storytelling here. And we get this this cat that's talking, which is here. He's sort of like Slimer and the PKE meter. Again, really good usage of these characters that make us look at the original Ghostbusters characters, but they all have their own unique and distinct ways of doing things. So everything here makes everything fresh. And this is what Ghostbusters 2016 could have been had they had a good writer, had they had a good director. This is what Ghostbusters 2016 should have been. I mean, if this concept had been the concept for the Ghostbusters reboot, you would have had people coming to see that blockbuster because you would have gotten everything that the social justice types would have wanted to put in their film. Now, with Ghostbusters 2016, they wanted to have an all-female team, and they wanted to have this so-called diversity and inclusion, but they also wanted to put a fresh take on Ghostbusters, but they just failed because they kept focusing on social justice and identity politics. But Exorcist Club doesn't have any social justice or identity politics. No, it just has a great story featuring hot, sexy women taking on ghosts. And as they're taking on these ghosts, well, I can't show you anymore because this is where we get into the rated R area with all of the nudity. But eventually they run into the ghost that is Brittany, who is on the cover. And that further makes the plot move forward. And it makes for an extremely compelling story and an extremely impressive first issue. I mean, this first issue does a great job of introducing the concept of the Exorcist Club, does a great job of introducing us to Sandra, Seo Hyung, and Brittany, and introduces us to their stories, and introduces us to people we can care about because we get to know them as people. And as we get to know each of them as people, we get to see how these different people from different walks of life are coming together to look to exorcise these ghosts. And as the story continues with Brittany, we start to see that these ghosts just aren't monsters. We see that they are people. And this entire story, again, impressive, absolutely fantastic first issue that I highly recommend you go out here and get. And this first issue really shows how Red Sea Comics has a very bright future as a publisher because the creative team here have done a fantastic job of introducing us to these sexy and hot characters in some all-out supernatural action. And I believe that this book will have a very long future if the writers keep writing it as solidly as they have. The Exorcist Club is a book that I would not rebuke from my collection, and I'm eager to read more of The Exorcist Club. I mean, this book is just, again, one of the best comics of 2024, and I don't want you to miss this book. I mean, this is one you definitely want to pick up. I mean, if you like supernatural action like I write in the John Haynes series, like with John Haynes at Death's Door, the comic, or John Haynes Illuminati, you definitely got to pick up The Exorcist Club. And this was one of those books that I found on a fluke. Again, I was looking to go and put in my pledge for Corey Hardiman's Hope and Sin with the Sister Mercy saga, and I saw this book and it just looked so interesting, and it reminded me of those days when I would go out here and pick up books like the Wally West flashback in the 80s at the newsstand. I would say, oh, that cover looks very interesting, that story looks interesting, and I would buy that book. And once I bought that book, I was hooked, and I was going to buy more. And this is the kind of book, again, I just love this comic because I've read this book multiple times, and this story is so good that I think I'm going to be reading this book till the cover will come off. I mean, this book is made out of some sturdy material. I mean, the cover is nice and sturdy. The pages are nice and sturdy, and I'm glad that they are. Because I've read this book about 6, maybe 7 times, and each time it just gets better with each reading. It's a book that just is more fun with each reading. And if this were the concept for Ghostbusters 2016, this would be a box office blockbuster. And if you notice, again, this book, like G.I. Joe and many of the shows of the 80s like Ghostbusters, it's giving you diversity without showing it to you. It's giving you diversity of characters, but giving you great personalities and great voices. It's not all about showing race and social identity. It's about showing people. And the Exorcist Club is what people would want in diversity. This is what we got in the 80s. And it's a book that I believe is going to be a great book for this year. And it shows me that this year we're getting some really great books from independent creators. And I want to see more people picking up books like Exorcist Club, because there's, again, a lot of truly great comics out there. And you got to pick this one up and find out why this is one of the best books of 2024. Now, I'm still trying to raise funds to get the next SJS Direct comic out. I mean, I've done 2 comics already. I did John Haynes at Death's Door, which you can get on Lulu.com right now in paperback. And I also have another comic that I've done, Esteem No Good Deed. And you can get that book on Kindle for 99 cents. Or you can pick up the Esteem series book, Esteem Blast from the Past, to get the paper version of Esteem No Good Deed. And what I really want to do is a comic featuring the goddess next door, and I'm still trying to raise funds to get that comic done. So if you guys could head over to the Cash App or the PayPal and drop a donation, that'll help me to be able to continue raising funds to be able to make the next SJS Direct comic, and also be able to continue spending money to support great independent creators like Red Sea Comics, and be able to continue buying comics like the Exorcist Club to share with all of you and help these creators be able to get their comics out and be able to make more comics. Now, I really want to see this company continue to grow, and I really want to see them have success. So you could also go out and head over to Red Sea Comics and try to pick up your own copy. This is a fantastic book, and I really want to see more people get it. And also want to see more people picking up SJS Direct books like the ISIS series, the Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy. You can find all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. ISIS, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Now available in paperback and e-readers. E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's Aspiring Angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed, all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today.
Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Illuminati. The man who rules the world takes on the head of the global elite in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes Illuminati on Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.